Happy Wednesday and happy Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is such an important part of the whole Christmas timeline, don't you think? I mean, it carries so much weight, so much longing, so much anticipation and expectation of joy. But for many, especially those carrying grief, it can also feel really tender, kind of complicated or heavy. I've recently been thinking a lot about how that first Christmas Eve went. And even though we sing Silent Night and All is Calm, I don't know is that first Christmas was actually silent, calm, neat and tidy, right? But it was holy because it was human. Luke tells us that Mary and Joseph were away from home, that there was no room for them, that Jesus was born into a place not of comfort, but a borrowed space and then laid in a manger. Not because it was ideal, not because it's what he deserved, but because it was all that was available. And Luke doesn't describe a peaceful beginning. He describes movement, displacement, a young couple just doing the best they could under the circumstances that they didn't choose. But that's where Christ enters the world. Then Luke tells us something else. The announcement that the Savior of the world has been born doesn't go to kings or scholars. It goes to shepherds, people working the night shift, people living ordinary, unpolished lives. And that message meets them exactly where they already were. And this same pattern continues today. I don't think God necessarily waits for calm. He doesn't wait for perfection. He doesn't wait for the world or our hearts to determine readiness. He comes into it, into the mess, into the ache, into all the humanness of each of our stories. If you're grieving this Christmas and joy feels distant or complicated, please hear this. You are not doing this season wrong. You are standing right inside the story that Luke tells. One of the names for the Savior that we hear a lot more at Christmas time, but it's also my favorite name for the Savior, is Emmanuel, which means God with us. Not God after things are healed, not God once everything makes sense, not God when sorrow has passed, but God with us in borrowed space, in the long night, in the manger moments of our lives. Now, if you're not grieving, but you love someone who is, you might wonder, what can I do to help them have a better Christmas, to be happier, to feel the joy? What can I do? What can I say? And the Christmas story, I think, offers a simple posture to lean into the meaning of Emmanuel, God with us, to be present without asking for anything to be fixed, to sit in that space with them without needing it to be healed right away. That too is part of the Christmas story. This is my first Christmas as a widow. And I share that not for sympathy, but because it has deepened my gratitude for a God who doesn't stand at a distance. If this season feels tender or unfinished, remember, Emmanuel has already come. Because the first Christmas wasn't silent or calm or neat and tidy. It was holy because it was human. And the God who entered that story is still choosing to be with us now. Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining me. May the promise of Emmanuel rest in your heart and help you in whatever way you need help right now. I'm grateful for you. I'll see you next week.